Hello. I come to you in traffic from the car seat of a particularly lovely Volvo V90, which I am testing for Double Clutch Magazine. I'm going to do a video review of this car and have it out pretty soon, hopefully. But that's not the main reason that I wanted to talk to you today. Today I wanted to talk about alignments. And I'm not talking about just the factory alignment that your car comes with or fixing it if it pulls one way or the other. I'm talking about a proper racing alignment and the difference that it can make. The thing that sparked this is right now my car is at Burning Rubber Tire and Speed / Dave's Garage. Chris there is setting me up with my new coilovers that I've installed for the Road to Time Attack series. And he is making sure that, first of all, everything is done properly, and he's also going to try and set up the car for competition driving. And I wanted to give a huge shout out to him because he is bending over backwards trying to get this done for me on time for hopefully on autocross on Saturday. If not, then for the track this weekend. He does tons and tons of race car setups at that shop. The guys that he has working on his alignment rack there are top notch, so huge shout out to them for all the work they're putting into getting my car going, and I completely trust them and the knowledge that they have to get the car going. So if you're in the Toronto area, check them out for a proper race car setup. So what I wanted to talk about was the difference between just a regular alignment and a track-specific alignment. Most cars from the factory are set up to understeer. For those of you that don't know what that means, it means that you're going around a corner really fast, the front tires are going to lose traction before the rear tires. This is because it's safer for the average person to correct, because to fix understeer, all you really have to do is let off the gas or brake a little bit, the weight transfers back over the front of the car, and then you continue on the line you were trying to go on the corner. Oversteer is a different story. For those of you that don't know, oversteer is when the rear tires start to slip. This is the one that we like because it's very fun. And the rear tires starting to slip looks like drifting. That's what we all like to do, right? Now the problem with that is that it's more difficult to control oversteer, especially because there's more than one type of it. Now, a really good track alignment is going to cause your car to oversteer because we want that, because it helps us go faster. A car that understeers cannot go through a corner as quickly as a car that oversteers. Now, I've seen and driven several different cars now that have gone from regular setups to track setups. A perfect example is my driving instructor, Colin, his Alfa Romeo 4C. I drove that car extensively when it was right out of the dealership, and I've driven it in pretty much every iteration that he's done to it so far. The most recent thing that he's done, it has got some proper camber adjustment devices. They're like little plates, totally different than how you adjust camber in my car. And he had a proper setup done. And to be perfectly honest, that car is completely different from when it came to the factory. The on-center feel of the steering is totally different. The way that the car rotates in the corner, totally different. Now, going through a corner, the turn-in is completely different. The car bites in much more than it did before. And it's a little bit more balanced when it comes to oversteer and how it comes on and how you correct it. Now, for a normal car, for your car, if you have an E46, those cars are not really set up to rotate from the factory. This is what we said, we want the car to rotate. If you're doing something like autocross, you want the car to rotate even more because there's a lot of really tight corners and you want the car to be able to turn around them. But on the track, you want a little bit of a less aggressive alignment. So you want the car to kind of be erring on the side of neutrality instead of heavy oversteer, because you don't want to deal with that going on really fast corners. Ask my friend Kevin with a Honda S2000 who just got a new alignment set up, and it's much more oversteery than he's used to. He'll tell you all about that. So these are things that you can do to your car if you are experienced, if you know what you're talking about, to be able to get your car to go faster around a corner. I do not recommend you taking your car out and getting a race alignment set up without really any track experience, because what you're going to feel is this. You're going really fast, brake, turn to the corner, all of a sudden the car starts to naturally limit oversteer. It will start to rotate without you doing it with the throttle. You might not even know why it's starting to rotate. This is good if you know how to deal with it, because you can apply throttle, move the weight over the rear, and kind of balance the car through the corner using the throttle. This is advantageous to us because it allows us to blast through the corner as fast as we can. I'm still learning how to balance a car on the limit that's really, really set up well. It's a long process of trial and error. See, spinning. so that you can figure out exactly what it takes to balance a car with the throttle as you fly through a corner. Now, the problem is that most cars do not come with factory alignment adjustments that are allowing you to put the car in a state where it's going to rotate aggressively. So you might need something like coilovers. So I've just installed the HSD coilovers from JRP in my car for the Road to Time Attack series. Hopefully you've been watching Road to Time Attack, because it's lots of fun to make, and I hope that you're enjoying the process that I'm going through, getting my car ready for Ontario Time Attack, which is coming up really soon, by the way, and I don't know if I'm going to have the car done in time. But now I've got the HSDs in, and what I can do is adjust the camber in the front. BMW's, the E46 chassis specifically, loves a lot of negative camber in the front, anywhere up to -3 degrees or even more. The problem with too much negative camber, that means the wheels go this way in the front, is that you can wear the inside of your tire out if you're using the car for road and track. So the most camber that I've got after talking to Chris on the phone at Burning Rubber is like just around -2, which we're going to see what that feels like, but they're going to adjust the toe in the rear and the camber in the rear to try and induce a little bit of rotation in the car. So here's the thing though, if you take your car to a performance shop that doesn't know what they're doing, and you say, I want this alignment done and this alignment done and this spec done, they'll say, well, what are you talking about? We're just going to put the car to the alignment specs that the manufacturer recommends. Yes, that's all well and good, but it's not going to let you go around corners very quickly. So if you have coilovers and you have camber adjuster arms in the rear, or whatever your car needs for camber adjustment, you have to go to a shop that knows what they're doing, that's able to set the car up so that it will rotate through a corner, essentially. Now, depending on your car and depending on the track that you're driving on, you're going to want more or less rotation. So it's helpful to find a racing shop that understands what you're planning on doing with the car and what kind of a setup your car needs. Because if you're going to a super fast track like Mosport, which is where the second OTA event is, and you're not very experienced, you do not want a car that rotates aggressively, because there's walls everywhere and you don't want to be spinning off the track. Snap oversteer comes on very quickly if you're not sure how to fix it. So I'm having my car set up much less aggressive than if I was using it just for autocross, because, well, I'm terrified and I don't actually want the car to rotate that much at Mosport. So I'll just deal with maybe the second or so that I'm going to lose, where I'm able to drive the car at the limit anyway, and I will be a little bit safer, so I can build up my own limits over a period of time. So to recap, get yourself a proper race alignment if you have the adjustability in your car and you know what you're doing, if you're planning on being competitive and you want your car to actually handle properly on the track. And please come out to a real racetrack and experience your car the way that it's meant to be experienced. I'm happy to help you out, answer any of your questions. I'm on Facebook now, Reviews with TH on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on here all the time, obviously. Feel free to send me an email, reviewswithth@gmail.com, and I will answer as many questions as I can. If I can't answer your questions, I will send you to somebody who can answer your questions. So please come out. I'm at Toronto Motorsports Park, Cayuga, the road course there, all summer, off and on, testing and filming and doing whatever else, and I'd be happy to talk to anybody. Please come over. Do not be shy. Come over and say hi to me, and you show me around your car. I had a couple guys with E46s come and show me their cars, and it was awesome. It's super cool to see the community that we're building in the area here, okay? So even if you're from out of town, send me a message, and you never know, maybe we could meet at a racetrack sometime. All right? I'll talk to you guys later.